Yes, well, the January 15th, 2026 elections have greatly impacted our economy, with a number of sectors being affected with different issues. And well, today I come here before you with one of the business analysts we have in this country, a very young man with great intelligence, that we're going to discuss a number of effects that 2026 election have caused to the business sector. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mugabe Godwin, aka Izon Media, and you're live on Naya Media. We welcome you. Continue following us wherever you are and wherever support you give us. We really appreciate you. Yes, Mr. Akuma.
Yes,
how are you, sir?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm happy to have you, my brother.
I'm excited to be here. It's my pleasure.
How is it going?
We are pushing.
Pushing.
We have nothing to do.
That is very
other
great.
than complying.
Hey. First, say hi to our viewers.
Yes, a very good afternoon to everyone. Boniface Akuma is my name. I'm a former, being a former student of Makerere University Business School, who deliberately actually specialized in tax and accounting. I'm super excited to be here as also a tax practitioner out there and as an accountant in practice out there as well. I'm super excited to be hosted by you, Izon Media.
Yes, my brother. Yes, well, I want us to look at the January 15th general elections that we had in our country, which had a number of effects and a lot of impact on the business community. More so looking at small business enterprises that have greatly been affected with different policies, different things that are in this election. In your view, what do you think the 2026 elections has negatively impacted the business sector?
Okay, for starters, I think, thank you very much for that question. For starters, I think I want to give you a brief on the campaigns, what did happen, and in regards to businesses. So we did have our elections. Of course, the elections took place on 15th January 2026. But however, we shouldn't be focused on only what happened on that day. We should as well be focused on what happened before, because there were preparatory stages that did took place, and those stages perhaps as well did affect the economy in one way or the other. We did see a lot of politicians spend money, splash money onto the economy, and you know what happens when money is too much in circulation in the environment. What happens? Inflation. We shall see issues to deal with the inflation and etc. You will see increase in price levels, but we thank perhaps the government. They tried to regulate and keep the inflation rate at a promised level, which didn't go beyond 5%. For that, we are really grateful. I think Bank of Uganda and government at large did a very good job. But however, what happens was this killed people's creativity, because now people who had started businesses were now very much focused on campaign, getting that small money from these MPs. But I think MPs and other political players in there. But Izzy, I would want to also look at also during that, as we are extending towards 15th, we saw an internet lockdown.
Shut down.
They shut it down. They locked everything and
blocked mobile money,
etc. and other things. And you know, since those days of COVID, we saw what COVID did to us, how COVID affected businesses, small businesses more so, and how they shut that down because they had not actually taken technology serious before that. Not until COVID came in and TikTok was used to market, to trade items and etc. But we did see this now taking shape after, I think, the COVID-19 hitting businesses hard. The only way, because movements were hard, of course, the only way was now for these businesses perhaps to do what? Perhaps to do home deliveries, and since human contact was very limited due to the lockdown. So we saw this being also affecting business because they had already actually adopted to that. So technically what did happen now was that businesses couldn't trade. Imagine someone who delivers something from here to Arua or up country using internet, taking orders, and also you can ask yourself how the Jumias were surviving in that small
because
period of time. Internet was almost shut down because you can't, yes, if some companies were allowed to access internet, what about the users, the traders who are buying it? So it was a tight one for businesses. In 3 huge sums of monies were actually lost in that particular period. And I think and I think that the companies are still recovering from that shock. Yeah, so digitally companies were affected, even though 3, 4, 5 days they were affected. And then also splashing of that money out there and killing people's creativity to focus on other activities like agriculture. Yeah, exactly. Now they did focus on what? On elections. The question would be, after elections,
what next?
What next? Yeah.
Let's look at the positives as well. Do you think in any way these elections have brought positive impact to our sector, the business sector? More so, let's concentrate mostly on small scale businesses.
Okay, if we were to look at the positivities of these elections, election ended and others say it was peaceful, and others, of course, will say it wasn't peaceful. But anyhow, it's their opinion. I wouldn't want to dive so much into the political bit of it, but I want to look at how those thoughts are affecting businesses. Of course, you were earlier on asking about the positive impacts, but if we were to only generalize and look at only the election period, I think it's not good to anyone who is watching out there. We would say, what were the government policies even before and after? Because the elections happened in a given financial year. In a given financial year, we had gone actually halfway the financial year. So, me, the positivity I would take from these campaigns was, I think, there may be probably I would say probably the economy kept on operating normally. Besides the internet shutdown, the economy kept on operating normally. People kept on trading, of course, because people have to eat every day. We saw some little bit of, there was no much ruckus within town. We saw some little bit of peace in there. I think the government had prepared for this enough, but we saw that, and people were actually trading. Yeah, and of course by that the economy did not grow that much because people were not trading because of the internet shutdown, which was actually the core issue, by the way. It was the core issue in this generation, where guys create content and that's where they earn from. A lot of a lot of employees didn't have what to do, meaning they couldn't make money. Even these small businesses, the small businesses in Chikubo and etc. perhaps also did what? Perhaps also were affected. You can even see the revenue that was lost in between that period was very huge. And definitely we saw URA reporting a shortfall in that regard. So it didn't only affect the small businesses, it as well did affect what? The government as well, in terms of revenue collection. Yeah.
How best would you think the government would come in to help in some businesses in terms of recovering from this post-election trauma?
Okay, from post-election trauma, I think we have to look at the government itself first. Because government is looking at the UNDP4. Yeah, the government is looking at the UNDP4, and we have seen a lot of enablers in that UNDP4. And we are saying the government, to be able to improve these small businesses, we have been singing this day by day, every day. Different analysts have been on TV shows saying all this. Parliament, who have been watching these debates, but we're saying, yes, of course, we have to capitalize. Maybe probably a UDB, that bank has to be, Uganda Development Bank has to be recapitalized. Even we have seen in the budget framework, actually, that was particularly read here, I think last month, by the minister, we saw they are looking at recapitalizing UDB, so as loans are given to these small businesses. But the question is, at what rate are these monies given to what? this money is given to these small businesses. We saw, and I think the range is a bit 16%, which I think is very high. Yeah, we also saw the PDM come in there. I think they are looking at giving more money or putting more money where PDM is. But we're saying, what is the impact of PDM to these, small businesses?
It would really help out in a business that maybe had a capital of almost 20 million and now they're giving them 1 million to recover?
You see, I would want to tell you, my friend, that giving business money is not the issue. That's why I believe in a norm where they say capital is not a problem. Yeah, but the problem is, where are you putting the money? Are you putting the money where your mouth is? That is where your skills are. Are you putting the money where your strength is? Or you're just putting this money out of excitement? Have you done the market survey? Do you have a business plan? Are you already doing this business? But we are seeing some of this PDM money was going to traders who actually didn't have businesses. Meaning, you're going to invest this money because you've seen your friend start up a boutique shop. You as well think the boutique shop, you can do it. You don't know which technique, which skills the man is investing in. So you're going to invest this money and government is going to lose the revenue like that. Which technically, I think government should have. Yes, government did some sensitization, skilling, but I think the skilling wasn't effective. Yeah, these personnel, this labor that went out there and probably disseminated these skills, I think probably they weren't effective. Because I can give you a fact that I was deep down in Arua there, in my village. I was doing a small survey and research on how the PDM money actually impacted on my people down there. People were telling me, yes, we got the money, government gave us money. But no, government gave you money, but their standards of living were not changing, my guy. They were not changing. The guys were still struggling. But the government has invested a lot of money in this PDM. But we don't see the impact in some of the communities. Some of the communities are actually skyrocketing. They are actually benefiting from this, meaning the skills development didn't reach the grassroots everywhere. So we are saying, okay, if you're giving this money to UDB plus other financial institutions where someone is supposed to access, can someone come for this money when they are very ready, when they have practiced this business for a while? It's just an addition. Yeah, it's just an addition to them. And then even that, we have seen government coming up with we have seen government coming up with incentives for SMEs. Government is saying, I think this incentive was passed on I think on 1st July 2025. Yeah, 1st July 2025 in this financial year, where government was giving incentives, tax holidays to small businesses, telling businesses who have a turnover of less than 500 million, they're giving them a 3-year tax holiday. 3-year tax holiday meaning for income tax purposes, you're not supposed to pay income tax to the government for 3 years. But however, people are not yet aware of this. People are not aware. People are not aware of this. Why am I saying people are not aware of this?
Don't you think it is maybe lack of communication or poor communication?
Yes, it could be. It could be. Yes, I would attribute that much to
those businesses that are still paying that tax even when they are given the tax holiday. But because they are not aware, they are unable to utilize such an opportunity.
You see, Izzy, just to give you a brief, you would see 90% of the businesses in this country are SMEs. And actually 65% of the population is employed by the SMEs.
Yeah.
But if you see, perhaps if you see that the tax contribution of small businesses to actually the government, you may find it's around 2.5, not more than 3% of the GDP. Tax to GDP, by the way, it's not that much. You get. And then to the national GDP, to GDP as a whole, you may find it's only 20%. The question would be, why do you think the contribution of 2.5% tax to GDP is still at that low level? People are not seeing maybe value for the money. Someone is saying, okay, you want me to invest this money, you want me to come, you want me to declare my business, formally register my business, but what am I earning? That's one thing. What am I earning from it? I'm seeing maybe there are poor roads somewhere. I'm seeing the government is not protecting us. Of recent year, I saw a press conference from the minister, I think the minister of Kampala, the elect. Kabanda was saying Now, Honorable was saying that they are going to evacuate all the traders, the street vendors from the streets. We are saying, okay, for organization of the city is perhaps okay. But the question is, which alternatives are you giving these guys? Are you taking them to those markets? I even saw another MP here, I think of Nakawa, the mayor-elect was also trying to hit on that issue. He was saying, where are you going to put these people? Where is the market you're going to put in these people? It's a very good initiative by the minister, but however, it has to be planned for. Otherwise, the citizens may actually think that it was just a campaign strategy to first allow them to go through it and then after. So I think the government has to come with clear plans. Of late, back then we saw them coming up with stages and etc. etc. But we are saying, okay, you're bringing these plans, very good plans to decongest the city, but how are you planning for it? Can you tell the public, can you tell us how you're planning for the city, other than just chasing these people away? Because these are the same people you've given the PDM money. You've given the PDM money.
You've given this man PDM money, and you said, let me go and start up a small plastic business and put it somewhere on the road. But this same person that you're chasing, don't you think it is a very big impact to both government and this individual?
Yes, because in this sense the government is losing. What this guy is going to do is he's going to be chased away and he will go, knowing that he's not losing anything because the money was given by. Now this is going to put the portion of big taxpayers, large taxpayers, into a huge burden because they are the ones that actually contribute much to the resource envelope. So this clearly will mean that we shall keep on, the guys who are paying more taxes will keep on being pressed. They'll keep on being pressed as others are just playing, wasting their resources. So I think the problem is largely contributed by the awareness, of course, because most of the guys don't know about this incentive, because now there are formularities that you need to follow. One, you have to be a Ugandan. You have to be a Ugandan to be able to actually access such an incentive. Maybe the other one is you should have yourselves, or maybe your turnover should not be above 500 million. Then the other ones, you're supposed to acquire a tax exemption certificate. The rationale of it, of course, behind this was to encourage businesses to get into, to formalize businesses and kickstart them and make sure they formalize to ease it for maybe the authorities to find where, how to tax and etc. So I think it's largely that, but of course there are other challenges these businesses face. For example, so we see the high interest rates in commercial banks. Huge one there. Still
affecting so many people that would have come to get loans.
Huge one there, one there. Because someone don't look at the interest rate. He's not making this money. They're evacuating him from the city. You see that? But now where is he going to make that money?
But do you think the Ministry of Finance, do you think they still follow the 2.8% interest rate on every loan that is given out?
Now for the loan they are giving out, which loan exactly now here? Are we looking at the PDM? Because
what I know with PDM, you get this money, utilize the money, but take the amount of money that you go. There is no interest on that.
Okay.
You're looking at commercial banks.
Yes,
maybe money lenders.
Okay, that's why if you go to court, actually, most of the cases you find most of these cases are on money. Finances, money lenders are dragging businessmen into court. Why do you think so? Because guys are doing business in unfavorable environment. So how do you expect someone to hit returns? So the Bank of Uganda, yes, has tried to regulate. We have seen the rates being a little bit constant at 9.7, maybe probably close there. But we are seeing the environment at which these businesses are operating is maybe probably not favorable for them. So the government has a little bit of homework to do there. Though we believe they have invested. So they need to now do an analysis down there. But we believe if they invest so much in understanding the real problems of people and the skills they really need to execute in. Because one time I was thinking of something easy. What if this PDM money was gotten and given to guys? For example, they find in a group, you should have a company.
Yeah, exactly.
It should be a company. If now government says, okay, I'm going to give you guys 10 million or so. You should be having a company. First formalize it.
A
registered company.
Yeah.
I'm giving you this one.
Maybe with also a TIN number.
Exactly. I'm giving you this 10 million. And government does voluntary registration of these businesses.
Not charging these people money, but
not charging these.
Voluntary.
Yeah. You voluntarily register companies for this, for an existing business. You see, someone has to first have a business. You tell them to formalize it. After formalizing it, you release that money to them. Then you educate them on the tax holidays. That's how I believe it should go. Other than giving someone money, just tell them, make a group, and this is where the money is. Do they have the wisdom of utilizing public funds?
Because at the end of the day, you're not going to arrest these people in case they don't return the money. But actually, we need to find out if this money is being given out. Is there a follow-up on the, maybe after, do they return the money, or because we've not seen anyone saying that I've returned the money, I got this 1 million, and then I've returned it right now.
I wouldn't want to confirm that whether this money, or there is someone who has returned it or not. But we saw the president himself. His Excellency, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he did actually go on ground. He was seeing impact of these businesses. From what he saw, from what we saw, from what he was trying to, where he was going, we saw a very great impact of PDM. But I think for certain areas where he didn't reach, I think from where we reached, well, like for example, where I reached in my village, yes, of course, some people were very successful, but others were grappling, others were struggling actually to even make, because they were given 1 million. But now someone is even having a capital of 100,000 remaining with him, and you're like, how are you going to refund back this money? The person is telling you, yeah, I bought this, and it was confiscated by the city authorities in those respective cities. So
then also, I think I was in Masaka at a certain landing site. I just don't recall the name very well. There's a fisherman who said that he was given that 1 million. Then when he tried to invest that money, then they were eventually chased away from the waters to do with fishing. By that time, it was the meter that was still in charge. But this man had invested already the money into fishing materials, but now he has lost it out. Do you think we need a very good follow-up on some of this? Because we need to know which people are receiving this money. You find that the people that are receiving some of these incentives, they are guys that, some of them are just starting, but there are those, most of them are the wananchi. You will not see us.
And actually, that was the design. That was the design of the PDM, to help the low-income earners, to help the people deep down there. Because that's why it's called the community-based financing, to help people who are down there at the grassroots. Because government realized that now, every time they would give out money, put this money in the banks, tell people to go and get them, this money was not reaching the what? Because of maybe the fear, the ignorance, and etc. But now the government says...
On that note, which incentives do you think government now can bring in? Let's not bring in the PDM, because PDM has been there. Now elections are done, we are moving on steadily, and we want the economy to be stable, to stabilize. Which incentives do you think government can bring to the SMEs? Let's not look at big businesses. These guys have already made money, and you find that some of these guys are still having the tax holidays.
I think government, let's start here. I think we see one of the government, we see that our exports are trying to improve, yeah? And as I told you, 90% of these businesses in Uganda are SME, yeah? Now, the question is, to what contribution what contributions do these small businesses have in terms of export? That's one. Of course, definitely, you find their contribution is even less than 10%
exactly.
for what is produced to be exported. What are the strengths of these small businesses? Maybe most of them are in agriculture, which employs 70%, above 70, close to 70% of maybe the youth and Ugandans. Yeah. If they are producing these items, to what standard are they producing these items? So as to enable to trigger export, yeah, for them to have market. We had the Uganda Corporation, so some of the, I think it was called Uganda Corporation society, something like that, where you used to have warehouses. You have a warehouse in a particular government has a warehouse in a particular village. People consolidate their produces, and then after that, someone a big investor comes and buys them, or the government buys them, and they're exported. The question would be, one of the solutions, I think, is now for you to reach that level, for you to produce goods that are acceptable in the international market, is one, go down and skill people. First, skill people. Put institutions, agricultural institutions. Put agricultural institutions. When you put these agricultural institutions, teach people in local languages. Because you are not going to convince someone of around 40 years, 50 years to perhaps go back to school if they have never been to school. Exactly. But however, they can attain these small skills. Tell them, we are going to teach you on how to rear chicken. Put these programs. Teach them in local languages. They will understand. The formulas they are not rocket science. Get this, add on to this, get this, add on to this, and that's a mix that you can give the birds. You go down, teach people, set institutions, agricultural institutions, equip these guys with those skills, and then give them the money. Give someone a certificate to show them that indeed they have done the training of 6 months in agriculture, and then give them disperse for them that money of around 10 million and tell them to go and then do an analysis, do a follow-up on these guys and see whether this money has been put in place or to better use. So as after that, you can milk a cow that you've fed. As URA, now you go and, as government, now you go and pick that money through taxes. Yeah, because most of these SMEs are in what? Are in agriculture. Yeah, but they are very vulnerable. So one of the things is that promote the exports from the produces these guys do produce. Two, you're giving us fantastic incentives as government. Very good, fantastic. I agree with it 100%. But how many people are aware of this? Are you seeing that? Give people value for money. If you give people value for money, they will now respect the laws of the land. They will look at these tax regulations not as threats, but as something that can benefit them. You see that? So if you don't train these guys, if you don't go out there and create awareness, the businesses will keep on struggling. You have introduced IFRIS. You're telling someone who doesn't have VAT, you're telling them you can issue out an e-receipt. Of course, someone technically will know that URA wants to see my sales that I make.
Yeah, exactly.
You see that? If URA is seeing the sales,
some of them are still negative about it.
Yes. If URA is seeing the sales that I'm making, perhaps URA will come and arrest me or get me, because they will know what I'm selling and collect the taxes from me. Now, how are my taxes benefiting me? That's what a common man is going to say. How are my taxes benefiting me? So I think for infrastructure, I think also infrastructures have to be developed, and we have seen the government has put in effort, and the infrastructures are being developed. Standard gauge railways are coming through. We expect them I saw in the national budget framework, there's some good money was allocated for infrastructures, which is one of the enablers of development. Yeah. So I think infrastructures are taking course, are good enough. Something like around 0.6 trillion has been allocated there. I think close to that money has been allocated to infrastructure development in the likes of Hoima, where AFCON is going to be, where the oil is going to be at Tilenga, and also Kingfishers. But SMEs, to be comfortable, interest rates, drop them down as well. Drop the interest rates down. Make these loans accessible to these guys. Yeah. Make them accessible to these guys. Yeah. There are a lot of things that we can say. A lot of it has been said, but those ones are also core as well. Yeah.
And how best do you think government would have introduced these programs into the SMEs? Because you find that government brings these beautiful programs, put them in place, but implementation is always slow. And even after implementation, you find that the money is scooped.
Do we have the technical people? We have a lot of technical people. For the case of Makerere University Business School, we have a lot of technocrats.
Guys who are very educated.
Guys who know how to deal with finances. But is the labor even enough? We don't have enough labor to go in each district and start disseminating that knowledge. Yeah. So I think the government has to strategize, to re-strategize again, and look at how best this money can reach the common man with actually great impact on them. Other than that, this money every year, every financial year, this money is going to get to waste. As simple as that.
Yeah, yes, the discussion is moving on steadily and very beautiful. And I'm sure you guys are enjoying these discussions. Well, and those that are still following us and watching us, I want to thank you so much for following us on all our social media platforms. Also, with our YouTube now growing and getting numbers that we expect from you guys, because we've done our best to bring you information like this. No one knew that there are SMEs that are supposed to be given tax holidays because communication is always at low. Yes, Mr. Bonnie.
Yes.
Let's look at now the SMEs themselves. Do you think these SMEs have the real capacity to handle some of these incentives?
Okay.
With the kind of information flow that we have in this country.
I don't think it's all about having the capacity to actually have these incentives. The incentives, of course, are there, but I think, okay, to have capacity in the sense that the question would be, I think I would ask myself a question that what are the procedures you need to follow to be able to benefit from these incentives. One, I did tell you, to be a Ugandan, and most of the SMEs, of course, are
most
Ugandans.
of them are Ugandans.
We are saying you have to have a turnover of 500 and below, and that's where the SMEs are actually falling. Apply for exemption certificate at URA and ETC and etc. But I think what SMEs just need to do is go and formalize your business. You see, what people forget is that formalizing your business is one way of compliance. That's one as a normal say or a normal talk, but is one way of saving. How is it one way of saving? Let me just give you a simple example. But for example, if you are a trader and you go to Chikubo and you buy something, let's say you purchase something at around let's say 20 million. What is the VAT on that 20 million? So that VAT that you pay for, you can actually claim it. It's your money, you can actually claim for it. But due to non-compliance, it will become hard for you to claim for that money because you're not registered for VAT.
You don't have even a TIN number.
And yes, the government is telling you can voluntarily as well register. First get a TIN. After getting a TIN, definitely, of course now TIN has now been automated. It's at the point of registering for your business at URSB. Yeah, I think URSB. Yeah. The registration agency. You go there, register, you get a TIN automatically. After getting a TIN, you can as well register for VAT. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to first hit the sales turnover. No. There is voluntary registration. But most of these guys don't understand these techniques. Meaning, one way a business can thrive through these incentives is first make your business formal. Because those are one of the reasons why actually these tax incentive came through. Make your business formal. After making your business formal, then take a move. Because you realize that for you to actually access that big loan, you have to be a business. Which collateral are you putting on place? Yeah, to actually be able to access these loans. That's why you see most of the SMEs, they won't grow to a certain extent because they fear compliance. They believe they are going to disclose their information, which may disadvantage them, not knowing that there are some good deeds in there that they can benefit from.
Yeah, exactly. And on that point, I want us to look at this with the kind of politics that are at play in our country. Mostly now elections are done. We've been in elections, now they've been holding people like a broken glass, like a glass that is not yet broken but almost breaking, and you have to hold it so softly and lightly. But now elections are done. You've already seen some policies are coming up that all street vendors should leave streets and go. But the question is, go where? From that point, where do you see businesses, more so SMEs, the Chikubo guys, the guys at NASA, guys in other streets? Where do you see them in the next in the next 5 months in terms of survival before even the president swears in? Because now after the president has sworn in, we expect new policies. And some of these policies might be very harsh.
Most of our parents are going to go home because these policies, because they are saying they should leave Kampala, which is the main center of trade. So these guys are going to leave Kampala. How are their kids? How are you going to go back to school? It's going to affect the economy in a very big way, even the government itself. These guys who are contributing taxes, they're no longer going to contribute taxes. Yeah, so it's also going to affect the government. But the SMEs, how it's going to affect the SMEs, of course they won't make sales. That's as definite as that. They won't have the income. Now, just know if you drive out people from the streets, in as far as business is concerned, you are causing problems in another sector. You're going to have insecurity. People are going to be idle and they will become thieves.
Yeah.
People are going to be breaking in other people's shops to find a living. Why? Simply because they have been evacuated and they don't have where to actually shelter from. So people are going to other crimes are going to do what? They're going to raise up. How do you think the ones that you're chasing, some of them got loans? Cases are going to increase. You see that? Cases are going to increase and we shall be there. You will find the judiciary coming out and say we are coming up with a supplementary budget. Why? Because the cases have increased.
So many cases in court.
So many cases in court. So a problem in one sector affects the other. Do you want to have insecurity? No. If you don't have to have the security, come up with proper plans, proper structures on how to accommodate these SMEs, because it's going to affect your GDP as well. Even that 2.5% is going to be affected. Tax to GDP is going to be affected. You see that? Beyond even the government, now that URA, they have even set targets for I think I saw the budget framework. I keep on referring to the national budget framework. I saw in the budget, national budget framework, I think a 69 trillion to be the amount of money actually to finance the budget, of which I think URA was given 40 trillion. URA is supposed to collect 40 trillion. Is it 40 trillion? 40 trillion, 40 billion, around there. That's what URA is supposed to collect from the domestic revenue.
From this crippling
economy. From this crippling economy. How are you going to get it when you're driving these boys out of business? It's going to be tight for you to collect. The URA will not meet its budget.
All in all, what we need is have an alternative for these people. Not just driving them away from the streets. Because you find that even the markets where maybe sometimes they take them, these markets don't have enough traffic to make sales. And they're very expensive to get those tolls to pay them.
Of course, we drive someone away from Kampala. You know, overpopulation comes with its advantages. Cheap labor, market. So when you drive someone away from Kampala, Kampala, of course, being the capital, is one of the most populated. So when you drive someone out of Kampala, technically you have eliminated their access to clients.
Yeah, exactly.
which is very problematic here in this case.
Yes, Mr. Akuma, let's conclude. As we conclude, which one advice do you have for that SME that is still trying to recover from the election era?
The advice I have for the SME is that I advise an SME to first formalize. Let him go and formalize. After formalizing, the recapitalization of these UDB and other grow that we have seen, these funds we have seen, you can easily actually access them to actually expand your business. So it's always good for you to formalize. After formalizing, you can now access these funds, and the business will do what? Will grow. You will be able to enjoy actually these tax incentives that are coming through. But if you haven't formalized, it's going to be very technical and hard for you to actually go and utilize these finances. We are seeing oil. They are telling us oil. We are going to start extracting oil by July 2026. So, an SME, how have you positioned yourself in that
to benefit from
the oil? So, one of the ways is that government can never deal with someone who is not formal. So, you have to formalize your businesses to first of all be very comfortable. Yes, I also encourage these guys, the SMEs, to save. You know, save money or do diversification of income. Maybe probably you can also invest in treasury bills, treasury bonds. Me probably, which I think will be another discussion for another day. Treasury bills and treasury bonds.
I need us in the next
diversify
episode.
the money.
Now we shall have that, but as well on how businesses can formalize. Because some of them, they don't know these things. And some of them don't know the importance of being formalized. Some of them don't know the importance of having a TIN number. And I want us in our next discussion to discuss this and see how we can hope some SMEs to develop and be formalized.
I'll be glad to be here, sir.
Maybe you can say goodbye to our viewers as we conclude, because time is not in our best interest.
Oh, thank you our viewers for being with us for this long. We are super excited to discuss issues of national importance to you. And I'm super excited to actually, the team that has hosted me led by Easy, one of my best friends, one of my good friends back then. And I also encourage viewers to continue pushing these links to actually to your friends to subscribe to their channel. They have good information that can actually transform this economy, and we hope to have actually a productive economy as we progress after these campaigns.
Yes, exactly.
May God bless all our viewers, and see you all next time.
Yes, thank you so much. This has been Mr. Akuma Boniface, a very young, intelligent man with a lot of tax information and a lot of business information that we all need to tap in and have information that can benefit our businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mugabe Godwin, aka Izone Media, and I'm very glad that we've been together for this long, and now I have to go off so that we can have flow in other programs. Thank you so much. We love you. Continue following us on all our socials, on our TikTok, on our YouTube, and as well continue following us on X. Thank you so much. We love you. For God and my country.